Welcome back to General Psychology. I'm your professor, Ryan Keith. So I know I told you guys I had the videos that you needed up and running, but I couldn't help but record just a couple more. In this video, I want to set you guys up to better understand the anatomy of the eye and the ear and what it is you need to be drawing. So if you'll bear with me for 1 second, I'm going to transition to where I can show you in the background here, right above and around me in a slide, and I'll walk you through what you need to be able to draw for the eye and the ear to be ready for your test this coming Monday. So at this point, you guys should be able to see a picture up and around me of the eye. And when I tell you that you need to be able to draw a picture of the eye, this is exactly it. The reason I want you to be able to draw a picture of the eye is so that you can trace the path that light takes through the eye in order to understand how you turn that light into an image. I'm going to be looking off to the side here so I can show you guys. You can see like my little laser pointer thing around me, right? And I can show you like how light moves through the eye and what that means. A lot of people imagine that we see with our eyes, but in reality, your eye's job is to focus light. That's something you should go ahead and write down. That's an example of the kind of note you want to be taking on videos like this one. The goal of your eye is to focus light, because ultimately, when you see something like looking at this pretty flower right here, you're looking at light as it bounces off. You can look as light bounces off of this flower and into your eye, and you ultimately, like a projector creating a sharp image on the back of a screen there, you want to create a sharp image on the back of your eye where there are neurons that will detect that light and send that information back to your brain. In order to focus that light effectively, this light passes through a number of different stages, and understanding what happens as it goes through these stages will help you understand why your eye is built the way it is. The first thing that light does is it passes through the eye. And let me go ahead and I will draw a picture here. As this, we'll do blue as this light passes through the eye. As it passes through this outside layer called the cornea. The cornea is the most outside layer of your eye that kind of bulges out, and it does the majority of focusing for light in your eye. It's important to understand that that is the cornea's job. You want to write that down, because if you wait until the test, you're going to guess that the lens does most of the focusing in the eye, and that's not correct. As the light passes through the cornea, it then goes through some of the fluid in your eye, but ultimately passes through this hole in the middle of your eye called your pupil. You guys are probably familiar with your pupil as that little black dot in the middle of your eye, but in fact, that black dot isn't black at all. It just looks black. It's not really black because it's a hole that lets you look inside your eye. And the reason it looks black is because it's dark inside your eye. Kind of a weird thing to think, but it's dark looking inside your eye. And this is why when you go to the optometrist or the optician, they'll take or you go to your regular doctor, they'll take a light and look inside your eye so they can get a picture of the back of your eyeball. If I was teaching this class in person, I was excited to show you guys. I went to the eye doctor recently and they took an actual literal picture of the back of my eye. And I was going to show you guys what it looked like, but that'll have to wait until we're back in person again. You know that your pupil does a number of things. It gets big and it gets small, and it gets bigger and small because the colored part around it is actually a muscle called the iris. And in fact, your pupil, when I say it's a hole in the iris. As the iris contracts like a muscle tightening up, that's what it does. It gets smaller and it causes your pupil to contract and get smaller. It does that when light is bright. I can demonstrate in a second how your pupil does this stuff, but if you look at your pupil, when it contracts, it gets smaller, or when your iris relaxes, it gets bigger. In order to look at how your pupil does that, one of the things you might do is to go into your bathroom, right? Today, a room where hopefully you don't have any lights on. You could do it in the middle of the night, and you could turn off your light and lean really close to the mirror. As you lean really close to the mirror, you're letting that eye relax and your pupil get really big so you can collect more light in the dark. And then as you're leaning really close, go ahead and turn on your light switch. Those lights will come on and your pupil will get really small. So what happens is that iris, when it relaxes, it opens your pupils up so that you can see better. And then when it gets really bright outside, that pupil closes down. Your pupils also open up really wide when you want to collect more information about something or someone you're interested in. One of the ways that we show attraction, even without trying it, is that our pupils get larger. What this means is that if you've got the hots for your friends like boyfriend or girlfriend, no matter how it is you might try to control that, it won't just be the little hints you drop or the body language you use. Your pupils are going to show that you've got the hots for them. And I trust your buddy and their boyfriend or girlfriend definitely going to be able to pick up on this stuff. So this helps control the amount of light that comes into the eye, as well as helps focus the image a little bit. This is why when you get those eye drops that blow your pupils out at the eye doctor, everything looks fuzzy. Too much light's coming in and you can't focus quite right. But the next thing that happens is as light comes through the eye, it passes, so it went through the cornea and then it goes through the pupil. Next thing it does is it passes through the lens here. The lens, like the lens in a camera or a telescope or binoculars, its goal is to help you focus near or far. The muscles above and below it and the ligaments help stretch that out. If you want to feel your lens work right now, you can go ahead and cover one of your eyes. Hold up your thumb right here so you can focus on your thumbnail. Look really closely at that thumbnail and try to keep it in focus as you move it closer and closer and closer to your eye. You'll feel those muscles and ligaments stretching, working really hard, and you'll feel that pressure in your eye as they work hard to do that, right? In this way, that lens stretches to allow you to look at stuff that's close and relaxes to let you look at stuff that's far away. In this way, the cornea, the pupil, and the lens all work together to create, hopefully, a really sharp picture on the back of your eye here. One of the things that you might use in addition, though, are lenses outside of your eye, like glasses or contacts. If you use these, it's not because there's something with your lens or your cornea that's wrong. More often than not, it's because there's something wrong with the shape of your eye, that rather than it being perfectly round, it is shaped a little bit more like a football. This is called an astigmatism, and it causes your vision to be less effective and less sharp because it's a little bit like having a projector or a projector screen that's too close or too far away from the projector itself, and you end up with a fuzzy picture, right? Understanding how these parts work together helps you understand how you get a crisp picture on the back of your retina right here, and how it is you end up seeing the things that you want to be able to see. In the next little section here, I'm going to talk to you about the functioning of the ear so you understand that anatomy and what it is you need to draw for your picture. Right up here, I've got a picture of the ear. Now, one of the things you'll notice is that when I talk about the ear, I'm not just talking about this part out here. I'm talking about all of the stuff on the outside all the way inside your head. The first thing you want to know is that your ear really has three main divisions. There's an outer ear, a middle ear, and an inner ear. The outer ear, middle ear, and inner ear have three different jobs. The outer ear's job is to collect sound. The middle ear's job is to amplify sound. And the inner ear's job is to transduce sound. So what does all this stuff mean? Remember, what sound really is vibrations in the air. This is why you can listen to vibrations in something solid by putting a glass up against a door, right? Or how you can listen to somebody relatively far away by talking into a coffee or a soda can that's connected to a piece of string. You vibrate the air and the can, which vibrates the string and vibrates the can on the other end. It's kind of a cool way to talk through a silly telephone, right? But what your ear does to get vibrations in the air strong enough that you can hear them inside your head is the first thing it needs to do is collect sound. One of the ways that we do that is with our pinnae here. If you want to know more about your earlobes and your pinnae, you should watch the video, Ears Are Weird. You should also watch it because that's going to be covered on the test. But your pinnae are meant to help you focus and localize sound so you can hear stuff better around you. This is why we cup around our ears to amplify the sound that we're getting. Next, you'll notice that the auditory canal or the ear canal, that helps funnel sound inside the head. And once we get in there, your tympanic membrane or your eardrum will vibrate along with that sound. It in turn makes the ossicles, the hammer, the anvil, the stirrup, the malleus, the incus, and the stapes. The ossicles are the 3, or I guess 6 smallest bones in the body. They further amplify that sound so that ultimately they can cause the cochlea to vibrate. If you look in the picture that I've got here at the ossicles, you can see that they look kind of like 3 levers all attached to each other, and that's exactly how they work, causing this leveraging, pistoning action to help vibrate the cochlea. Your cochlea is the spiral-shaped thing right here, and its job is to transduce sound or convert sound waves into neural information. That neural information we get because the cochlea, you can see in this picture here, if we were to unroll it, is really this tapered thing that's filled with fluid. And what happens is, as the stapes or the stirrup or the last of the ossicles vibrates the cochlea, it vibrates all the fluid in there. And that vibrating fluid stimulates neurons along this thing called the basilar membrane. And those neurons tell your brain, hey, I'm listening to stuff. I know this is a lot of information and I'm talking quickly, but if you can play this video over, drawing the parts of the ear as I talk about them, understanding how each part vibrates the next, you understand perfectly how it is that hearing works. If you have questions about your drawing assignments, about vision, about hearing, about how you detect the world around you, or about how your senses lie to you, just hit me up. You can talk to me during my normally scheduled office hours by going to officehours.page.link/meet or calling me at 395-5544. If you can't talk to me during these office hours or computer stuff isn't working for you, feel free to reach out to me via email or text, and we'll set up another time to talk. Take care of yourself and keep up with your school stuff. One of the biggest hints I can give you is every day, even if you don't have to go on into work or school, get up at the same time, do your hair, put on your makeup, get dressed, do all that stuff that feels like you're going into school, and sit down to get your work done. You'll feel better, you'll feel more professional, and you'll keep up with the work that you need to do. I'm your Professor Ryan Keith. This is still general psychology, and I cannot wait to talk to you guys more about how your senses lie to you about the world around you.